And we back on a Saturday. What's we got today? We got 7 games. We got some wild news in Toronto. We got some guys returning for OKC today. Not much crazy news yet. I guess that's a lie, right? Siakam, Lowry, the big three, if you will. It's Chris Boucher night on the Toronto Raptors. I'll pull up Toronto's minutes right now. Just added Bembry to the player pool. He was suspended a game, but he is eligible to play tonight. So just added him to the player pool right now. And you can see how everything else is going to be looking. Obviously, lots of interest in Toronto tonight now, as the field will likely be on that as well. As Toronto seems to be, you're probably going to have 4 or 5 highest owned guys in like the top 12 from Toronto today. These 4 on the screen: Bembry, Boucher, Anunoby, and Gary Trent. Trent would probably be my least favorite. How y'all doing up in here? How y'all doing? Welcome on in. Hopefully you're having a very nice Saturday. Been out and about, got some froyo. Nice 5-mile run for the half marathon training. It's been fun. It's been a fun time. Any questions you have, get them on in here. We'll be answering your questions throughout the stream. We'll be touching on prize picks. We'll be doing a whole bunch of stuff. We'll be tracking the SuperDraft contest because their MMA stuff didn't come anywhere near it. Bradley Beal, updated to doubtful today. So that is news that I'm going to have to update for. Davis Bertans ruled out for rest. Man, shit. Right when you come on the stream, just seeing this stuff. Trying to see the prize picks. So I'll update for that as the stream goes on. No big deal. What's we got? Westbrook chalk. Yeah, Westbrook's going to be chalk. So let's pull up the Washington minutes now. That we are not going to have any Bertans, 24 minutes now out of the rotation. And Bradley Beal, 33 minutes now out of the rotation. And we will update this live action. At least this is the only team news. Same guys from the same team. But yes, this is going to make Westbrook a yes for me. Westbrook now grades out for me for 59.2 fantasy points, which makes me yes. Not as good of a yes as he has been, but still going to look like a big strong option. Fucking tired today. Big tired. Big run. Not much sleep. Drinking the alcohols last night at the comedy club. All right, so we're updating this right now on my end. It's going to make Ish Smith, assuming that he starts, look a little bit better. Get your questions in. We'll be sure to get to all of those questions throughout the show. Everybody else, though, yeah, not much is like looking that much better. Like Denny, not somebody I'm going to be playing. Garrison Matthews gets a bump, but probably nothing crazy. 12.8 fantasy points. Raul Neto actually does get a decent bump at 19.6. Not really something crazy that I'm looking at. And I'd probably expect Cassius Winston to now get into the rotation. Probably also now expect a Chandler Hutchinson to also get into the rotation. Is Daniel Gafford back tonight? Is that what the news is that also came out? Daniel Gafford will play tonight already. So lots of news now happening in Washington. We'll update the rest of it as we go along. How y'all doing? Can you rank the Raptors for yourself today, please? Yeah, the Raptors right now rank for me Bembry, Chris Boucher, and then a coin flip between Gary Trent and OG Anunoby. Avery Bradley, Luke Kennard killed me, and I had Robin Lopez was no capping. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, Avery Bradley, blah. Cantor prize picks over 31. Yep, that looks good to me. Raps and Cavs game stack today. Yeah, I'm not looking to game stack any of these games. I'll probably play some Raptors because they look good. The Cavs, I'll pull up the Cavs minutes. Cavs not looking as good, I guess you could say. Like some guys are standing out, but it's like their power forwards all kind of cut into each other. So Hartenstein I'd like a lot. The rest of these guys from the Cavs, they're just like all in a player pool, but not nearly obviously as good as now Toronto. Ayo, Sal played the first 9 of the year. 2 birdies and finished with a 40. I'll take it. Happy Masters, everybody. Happy Masters. Yeah, the Masters is going to be started. So a lot of stuff going on. MMA right now. I don't even know right now if we're if somebody could let me know if we are approaching the if we're approaching the main event. It started at 11:30, which was fantastic. I watched some of the fights. But if somebody wants to know if we're approaching the main event, like if it's happening as I'm talking right now, because I've been out of pocket the last couple hours. But yeah, it's pretty fun. So MMA is going on. The Masters is restarting back up in 10 minutes, so we're able to squeak this in here, right? Finesse it right in there as you will. Real nice. Slick. Motherfucking soap. Get that shit in there. Sal on a Saturday smacking us around. We love it. Hey, love to hear that. We love to hear that. Yeah. Any NBA questions that you got? We got a bunch of news that just dropped, right? All the fucking Washington news. Daniel Gafford's now back. The Washington Angel for 2 or 3 days. They kept giving him minutes. He kept absolutely smashing people around. So now Washington's going to be an interesting spot to potentially get some value. Mainly comes from some of the guards. Obviously, Russell Westbrook going to be one of those guards. So yeah, any questions, get them on in right now. We'll be going to Washington value. So no Beal tonight. Yep. Yo, what's going on, Dale? I'm ready for some more winnings on SuperDraft plays. What's up, Dave Jones? Yeah, we're having a good time. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Detroit's an interesting team. They got some guys now going to be grading out his value. I still want to see Diallo get some big run, right? Like, Diallo's a guy who's somebody that I would like to see get more run. It's just they're not giving it to him right now. There's obviously a lot of bodies there that they want to give minutes to. They seem to be pretty content with playing Dennis Smith Jr. and Corey Joseph for whatever reason. They want to continue to play Dennis Smith Jr. This is like the third team or fourth team now in as many years. The Knicks twice in there that continue to play minutes with Dennis Smith Jr. Doesn't seem to be the best outcomes for these guys, if I do say so myself. Yeah, so Daniel Gafford being $3,000 flat is interesting, but I just can't give him enough minutes yet to want to get there, especially on this slate, 7-game slate, a lot of other center options. Gafford, for me, grades out for 16.9 fantasy points. It's not terrible, but it's probably not something that I'll be getting all that much of. Hutchinson will probably get back into the rotation today, so somebody asking about how that's all going to be affected. I'm updating right now on my end the projections for Patreon. So starting centers for DFS equal Boucher, Chris Boucher, and Cantor tonight. So let's pull up Portland's minutes. We're getting some questions there. We're gonna start to build some lineups as well the second that I update this. So starting center, so top center options today. Yeah, Chris Boucher is going to look fantastic. You're going to find the ownership to follow that. Whatever. I'm fine with that. Top centers for me today look like Chris Boucher, Enes Kanter in that order, but also Isaiah Stewart if Plumlee was to miss. Tony Bradley also. There's a lot of really strong centers today. And there's ways to get different because of that. It just kind of comes down to what your lineup construction is, but there's value at every single position now because of the Toronto news. So Beal and Bertans out. Gafford in. All right, so the optimizer is now updated with the projections. Patreon itself is now updated with the projections, so now we can start to build some optimized lineups. Yeah, I guess that news came out about 10 minutes before I went live, 15 minutes before I went live, but your boy was focusing on some other stuff in terms of getting in some of this stuff. So, alrighty, let's start to build some lineups out now that we have the new projections in here. We can update these. We can get a nice little picture up in here. What do you guys want in this picture? I got some rookie wide receivers. People are going to be like, who is that? So we got some rookie wide receivers for all you NFL fans out there. The NBA fans can be like, what is going on here? The rookie wide receivers, Jamar Chase, I'm doing profiles in the back end. People are going to be like, well, what is going on here? Well, we can put some basketball players so people's heads don't explode in the chat right now. Here we go. The cover boy himself, Mr. Enes. How do you guys do yesterday? Seems like a lot of bad beats yesterday. Guys leaving some games early, overtime in the wrong games. Looking lean and mean, Sal. Appreciate that. Always good to see you on the weekend. What's the plan for the comedy career, somebody says. Comedy career? I don't know about a career, but doing it as a hobby. Write some jokes, do it as a hobby. Stand-ups in person is just a wild energy. Like last time was a wild energy. It was so much fun. I'd be down to try that out as well. But more so like in a content aspect. There's definitely some interesting ways to do it through content. But obviously in person is like a totally different crowd. Who's your high owned fades right now? So let me start to build some lineups on, then we can talk about some of that type of stuff. So let's put no randomness on right now. Let's let this thing build. You're gonna get a lot of Toronto's guys if we just let it build, but we can let it go from there. The projections have been updated. Alrighty. Any other news come out? Tired of updating these projections live on screen. It's getting annoying. Durant will start being a minutes limit. All right, we already got that. Ken Burch signed with the Raptors. He won't be available. Yeah, we already know. All right, we Gucci. My boy Sal, I've been burned on Moses Brown the past few nights in a row, but how you feeling with Roby out? Does he go over with confidence? No, definitely does not go over with confidence. Can he go over? Yes, but I am not placing that wager. I would lean the under if anything, but I'm not placing that wager. What's up, Sal? How was the comedy show? It was fantastic. It was incredible. What's up, Derek? Hopefully you had a nice day with the movies, you were saying. Some of the Prize Picks profits, getting yourself a nice little movie. Shout out you. Got 5.5 miles in this morning. About to listen in and hit some cardio. You're going to hit more cardio. Got to get them 2 days in now for the summer shreds. Damn, yeah, I'm on like a half marathon training that I do each summer. And each summer, something goes wrong with it. COVID last year. The year before that, it was a back injury. The year before that, it was COVID last summer. Year before that, it was moving. Got me all thrown out of wax, not knowing where to run around here. Only like on the side of the roads, and that's kind of brutal. So it got me all thrown out of wax. Year before that was a back injury. Year before that was a concussion. Last year was the actual first year that I got through the entire thing. And I ran the half marathon just like ran 13.1 miles, no event, which is pretty shitty. But man, my man's doing 2 days in the chat right now. Shout out to you. All right, so let's build out 50. Put on 26% randomness. We'll go 3 uniques and 3 from a team. We're going to get a lot of Toronto's guys if we go with the 3 from a team, but what are you going to do? what are you going to do? So we're using the big energy optimizer. We'll build this thing out, get some lineups. Yeah, let me know when this main event's starting for the MMA. Masters about to start back up. Big fun. Big fun. Let's let these lineups build. Why is Russ a maybe? Russ is a yes. Dan Trobin says next. I don't know what that means. Prince a maybe? Oh, the main event's next is probably what Dan's saying. Damn. Alan and Yusuf wrapping up right now. All right, cool. I mean, I'm going to have to, like, somebody DM me the stream link. I know a lot of people out there are like, hush on the streams. Nah, send me that stream link. It's on ABC, though, right? So just send me any type of stream link. It should be free if it's on ABC, I assume. Ain't no pay-per-view. Watch Nurse play Birch over Boucher. He's not playing today. Updated Dalaruski dozen for tonight. Yeah, so let's look at some lineups. Updated Dalaruski dozen is going to be a lot of chalk, so you're going to have to get away from it somehow. But top-end fades tonight. Yeah, I mean, you can play with confidence, these Toronto guys. Obviously, I'm not going to be trying to play 3 or 4 of them. And I mean, 3 is okay, but in a single entry lineup, I'll probably stick to 2. 7 games, so you can probably get away from 3. Dennis Smith Jr. is a yes for me, but now with this other value, he's probably somebody I can get away from. They just have so many bodies out there. It's just so easy for it to go wrong in Detroit for Dennis Smith Jr. So Dennis Smith Jr. picking up chalk. I can get away from Dennis Smith Jr. I can always get away from Gary Trent. Do I think he's going to play big minutes? Yes, but is he a good fantasy point per minute producer? No. Is Boucher a must start today? He's going to be on a priority list for me. It'll depend for Boucher on what happens with, and you can see some of the lineups. We can talk about the lineup construction on the screen. It'll depend on what happens with Mason Plumlee. If Plumlee's out, Isaiah Stewart at a cheaper price point starts to become more of a priority over Chris Boucher, and then it comes down to, do you want to play Cantor or Chris Boucher, depending on which you're going in the rest of your lineups. Props for PD Money for putting your scores versus prize picks on the Discord. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'd be able to, with like a flick of the wrist, be able to do that pretty easily. But like they like go out there and actually just write them down. Like they're like writing every single prop down in there. I mean, that's like 30 props that you're writing down. That's going to take way too much time for me to actually, I mean, it would realistically take 5 to 10 minutes, but those props update throughout the day. And it's not something that right now without a API would make much sense for me to do. Sal's pulling off the I'm walking here thing today. Nice. He doesn't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Your projections for Gasol with Drummond back and Gafford is a lock, you think. Gafford is nowhere near a lock, and Gasol I have for 0 points. I don't even know if Gasol will play, but I have him for 0 points either way. I think the Wizards are going to get blown out. All right. Do you like Oubre still, or is it better to just go with Prince/Jackson? I like Oubre over both those guys. Considering money, do you like Bembry over Trent if he starts? Yes, considering money. If we're considering money in that. So like this is going to be a very chalky lineup. So we're going to have to get a little bit more random. It's like I don't think Draymond will be that highly owned. So Draymond will be like the piece that sets you apart in this lineup. I don't think it'll be enough though. Like if you're playing in a small field, like 200 people or less, this lineup might be good, right? Like Draymond probably only comes in 8% owned in a lot of small field stuff tonight. McCollum is going to pick up ownership, but maybe only like 14, 12% owned, right? But we're going to need to get a little bit more different than that. Norman Powell gets you different in this lineup. Kelly Olynyk kind of gets you different. Yeah, I actually like Kelly Olynyk. I like him on the over on price picks. I don't think there'll be much ownership there. Power forward eligible is like the only spot I would play him tonight. If you play him in center, you'll definitely get different, but I think you're wasting that spot then. So this randomness is giving us about 2 different spots. Royce O'Neal's getting us different here. Andrew Wiggins gets us different coming off of a nice game last night. Boucher, Cantor, Stewart, or Drummond? If I had to pick one, it would be Mr. Chris Boucher. But if you're looking to get different tonight, playing Drummond with any of those guys is going to be very attractive. Like Drummond will probably come in because of all this. Like if Isaiah Stewart opens up, Drummond will probably be like 10% or less owned in a lot of contests. What do you have Theo Maledon for? I'm not really big into Theo Maledon now with these other OKC guys back. I do think Maledon still secures minutes, but with Lou Dort and Baisley back, actually productive players compared to who's been out there. Not the greatest players, but compared to who's been out there. Now you're actually going to get guys like Jalen Horde and these guys out of the rotation. I have Maledon for 27.4 points. Who's your top power forward value tonight? Top power forward value tonight. Let me see who's power forward eligible that I'm looking at. Yeah, it's not much. A lot of these guys are only small forward eligible or center eligible. So scrolling down, not a lot of top power forward eligible guys. I don't even know if Yuta Watanabe is a power forward or small forward only. Royce O'Neal, probably Kelly Oubre. He's small forward and power forward eligible. Can you rank the centers for Washington tonight? The centers for Washington tonight, for me, I would rank them right now: Daniel Gafford, Alex Len, and Robin Lopez in that order. I have Gafford for 16.9 points. How do you rank the Raptors after Boucher? I have Bembry ahead of Boucher. And then I'm going to be having OG and Gary Trent. I'd rather have OG. There's more ways to get there, especially in the defensive end. More secure minutes as well. But OG and Gary Trent kind of like right after that. Let's see the Raptors minutes. Yeah. Yes, sir. Big yes. How y'all doing? What y'all doing on your Saturdays? You just watching sports? It's a good day to watch sports, right? NBA starts tonight. MMA literally started at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. PGA clearly started early as well, but now it's in a little bit of a delay. I think about as of a minute ago, it's supposed to come out of that weather delay. I'm sure there's other sports on today. Obviously, baseball is just going to be on all throughout the day in the afternoons. A lot of shit going on right now. A lot of shit going on. What's the updated Dalruski dozen? Yeah, the updated top 10 plays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll put up the top 10 plays as of right now. Top 10 plays that are yeses. So we'll leave it at that. So let me get 4 more in here, which is transferring this sheet over from the actual sheet. So these are currently the top 10 plays. There's 9. And there is 10. So the updated top 10 plays as of all the news that's come out and my current projections, about 2 hours and 15 minutes until lock. This is the updated top 10 plays right now. This is just pure point upside, right? Pure point per dollar upside. This is not taking into account, it's somewhat taking into account ceiling. That goes into the rating. But it's not going to take into account ownership specifically because I'm not going to be... You can't make a top 10 list. Like, that's a leverage list, right? Which then becomes a little bit of a different story depending on the contest that you're playing in. This is top 10 point per dollar. And you might be like, these guys are going to be chalky. Yes. That's the whole point of it, right? These are top 10 point per dollar. So don't play all 8 of these guys, all top 8 of these guys in a lineup. And you're probably not going to want to because you're going to have a lot of money left over. There's a shit ton of value tonight. You can play whoever you want tonight. There's value everywhere. There's only going to become more value tonight depending on what happens with guys like Mason Plumlee and some of the other guys who are questionable today. You could see Joel Embiid rest today, right? Rest candidate. I don't think he's going to. I'm not projecting him to. I'm projecting him in. But there's a lot of other guys that are potentially going to open up some value as the day goes on, right? The second that we get news on Kyle Lowry officially out, that makes it a little bit more obvious. But Kyle Kuzma being out would open up some things, even Alex Caruso. Sal, who's your favorite stud that you're building around? Favorite value? Favorite stud is going to be Russell Westbrook now. Outside of Westbrook, though, if you're looking for like a lower-owned stud, I'm going to continue to pound the drum for Joel Embiid. It hasn't worked 2 days in a row in games where he's like coming back, but Embiid's going to be like 5%. Now with Westbrook opening up, Embiid will probably be like 4% owned. Second night of a back-to-back, there's chances that he could rest tonight. But it's going to be Westbrook as like your clear and obvious pay-up option. After that, you have Steph, but Steph's picking up ownership, and I'm not too thrilled to get there. Donovan Mitchell's a great play, picking up ownership. Like, Mitchell's a really good play without Clarkson tonight. He's always a decent play, but even better without Clarkson. But if you're just looking for straight pay-up options, there's not many of them, but it would be Russell Westbrook, the clear number 1 for me. And then I'd probably go to Embiid just because of the ownership going to be massively low. Pick 2, Cantor, Boucher, and Drummond. If you're starting your lineup there, the answer is going to be Cantor and Boucher. They're going to be highly owned, so it depends. Like, what is your needs there? Are you playing cash? Boucher and Cantor. Are you looking to get different somehow? Then I'd throw Drummond in for Cantor. But Boucher and Cantor are looking like 2 of the best plays in the slate. I would argue that right now, Boucher and Cantor, I think you can argue they're the 2 best plays in the slate. Like, you're going to have value at guard in Dennis Smith Jr. and Bembry, and maybe value in Isaiah Stewart at center, but I think you can argue the ceiling upside of Boucher, which we literally just saw 60-plus points, Cantor, which we know is easily in the 50s. Like, the ceiling upside of these guys, I would argue that they're definitely 2 of the top 5 plays in the slate as it stands right now, arguably the 2 best plays in the slate. The fact that they're both center eligible makes it a little bit more difficult, though, to kind of make that statement for sure. Durant starts, but on increased limit. Yeah, basically projecting him for that. What are your top price picks so far? I want to lock some stuff in before I go outside the grill. Ooh, grilling sounds real nice. Sounds like a fun time. So top prize picks right now. Let's pull this up. So let me see. I ended up having. So I'll put these into the Discord as always after. So I have 10 guys listed right now, and I have action into 10 fellas on prize picks right now. I would say I'm actually taking stances on some of these Toronto guys on the under. I think prize picks reacted maybe not too quickly, but like I have the under Malachi Flynn at 33 points. That's too high. I have him at 28 points today. They're not. I don't think that they're realizing that DeAndre Bembry is back. So they're projecting Malachi Flynn as if he's going to be playing 35 minutes at point guard today. That's not going to be the case, right? I have him at 30 minutes. That's probably even high. So Malachi Flynn on the under is currently what I would say the best option. That can get out of hand, of course, right? Because we've seen Malachi Flynn have some success with these guys out. But OG Anunoby, I like OG today, but I have him on the under. 41 points is a lot of points for OG Anunoby. And then there's like spots where I'm like 3 or 4 points off. The under on Drummond, although I like him, the box upside can come into play, so maybe stay away from it. Mitchell over 45. Ingles over 23 looks very nice. Once again, like we said yesterday, the best play in the slate was Kevin Porter Jr., easily smashed. These best play in the slates have been working out pretty well. Isaiah Hardenstein 2 games ago. But Kevin Porter Jr. will be the best play in the slate if and when John Wall gets ruled out today. So if John Wall gets ruled out, I have Kevin Porter Jr. for 36 points. His over-under is 29. So if you want to take a risk on it, either way, 29 is not a bad number, even if John Wall is in. It's still like a number that can be achieved. So I think there's a pretty nice risk you can take here. I've already taken this number. It's basically, I don't want to say a lock, but it's a very much a sure thing if he's healthy and doesn't get in foul trouble and the game doesn't blow out, that Kevin Porter Jr. will beat this over 29 just based on the minutes that he's playing right now with no John Wall and his production. If John Wall's in there, he can still get you there. So you got a lot of upside with it with very limited risk, I would say, in taking this over 29. So Kevin Porter Jr. is something I like. I do lean the unders on Flynn and OG Anunoby. And there's some other spots in there that look okay. Nothing like standout insane. Like Cantor over 31 looks good. Ingles over 23, I would say, is one of the better options as well. I have Ingles at 27.5 with Clarkson currently doubtful. I think that's a really good option. What this is right now is Prize Picks for those of you that are tuning in and have no idea what this is. It's an over-under fantasy points, or even just player props. Any sport you want, you can do it. There's obviously the NBA for fantasy points because I project those. They count blocks and steals as 3 points instead of 2 on DraftKings. That's your main difference. They don't count double-doubles and triple-doubles, which most projection systems won't take that into account because it's kind of hard to take that into account. You can take a fraction of it. So yeah, you can check it out. It's linked down below if you want to use the code. Click that link. Use the code SAL, S-A-L. They smack you around with as many dollar rooskies as you put in. They'll match that up to 100. So you put 20 in, you try it out. They give you 20 using the code SAL. But yeah, check it out. I would say that Kevin Porter Jr. is the best play in the slate. If John Wall is out, you can take the risk just by getting him early. The unders on some of those Toronto guys, the overs on Cantor and Ingles right now. I'll put all 10 that I have action on currently. I'll put all 10 of the guys that I currently have action on once we get some more later on in the Discord. I don't know what I'm saying. Once we get some more. I'm hot. It's hot in this. It's like 75 in here. I got a motherfucking hoodie on. Cousin Sal, Sexton, good play. Trent can't guard him. Sexton's a good play, yeah. What's your Kevin Love outlook today? I think he plays more minutes than yesterday. Love played 23 minutes yesterday. There was some wonky stuff that went on there to kind of limit Love. I've got Love playing closer to 28 minutes today. I got him at 30.34 points. He's in a player pool for me. Let me see how many guys I have in a player pool because I'm going to have to reduce his player pool. I currently have 47 guys in a player pool. That's not bad. There's also going to be a little bit more than that. 47 guys that I have at least 5% ownership of as of right now or expect to get. Out of those 47 guys, I've got 18 yeses. That is going to reduce. I already see some guys that aren't going to make the cut. I'll probably have around 15 yeses. So Love is one of those guys in that player pool. Is Bembry, Prince, and Joseph in one lineup too much chalk? I don't think you're going to get a lot of... Bembry will be a good amount of chalk. I don't think you'll see chalk on Prince. I really don't think it'll be there. He's a guy playing off the bench that's benefited from blowouts in the last 2 games. We touched on that in the video this morning. So I'm a little bit hesitant on Prince, but because of the low ownership, you can get to him a little bit more. Corey Joseph will pick up ownership for sure, but I don't think Prince is going to pick up ownership. Caught a bad beat last night, bounce back night. We'd like to hear that. Yeah, Paul, I think you DM me, I believe. Hate the bad beats. Any Joe Ingles thoughts? Yeah. I like him the most on Prize Picks. That's probably the only spot that I really get to him. Flynn or Mitchell on SuperDraft today? I want to say that my answer is going to be pretty easily Mitchell. I will take... Flynn's got the 2x multiplier, though, so that really... I have Mitchell grading out better, but barely. Yeah, I guess Flynn. That surprised me. I didn't know that Flynn still had the... I obviously have it in my projections, but did not know off the top of my head that Flynn's multiplier in SuperDraft was still 2x. That's crazy. After the success that he's had lately, the guys being out, you would think that they'd put it down to at least 1.95x. So it's pretty crazy that it's still at 2x. Wild stuff. What do you got Baines for? I think he's getting blowout run. Yeah, I'm not projecting anybody for blowout run, so I'm going to have Baines as a pretty bad play. 15.7 points. A no for me. Rank Dean Wade, Love, and Hardenstein, please. Hardenstein, Love, and Dean Wade in that order. You like Sexton? Sally's in a player pool. He's okay. 8 to 9K yeses plays for you, says Dylan. Yeah, so let's look at this. The 8 to 9K range in terms of the yeses. I'll pull up the optimizer right now so we can look at some of the top projected lineups. This is the Big Energy Optimizer. If you want to check it out, it is one of the features, just one of the features out of the many. Discord, projections, ranks, ownership, top plays, a bunch of stuff. You can check out on Patreon. It's linked down below. I saw a couple of people during the show signed up. You can get access to this optimizer, play around with it, follow us here, and some other stuff as well. So these are some of the top. So this lineup has Bembry and Flynn, which I'm not totally against getting both of them in a lineup because I expect them both to play around 30-plus minutes. The problem, though, is when you start to get a lot of guys from the same team. You're basically getting your entire team to be Portland, Utah, and Toronto here, which is not always an issue, but can be a problem. Booker smash play today. Yeah, shout out Booker. Tough to ever really love Booker. Tough to really ever love Chris Paul, just how much they cut into each other. So the 8 to 9K yeses for me, just as it stands right now, just Donovan Mitchell is the only 8 to 9K yes for me. A lot of guys in a player pool, only guys yes. Mitchell and Covington for Sexton and OG. Is this a season-long league? I don't know what you're asking me there. Oh, Covington. I read that as Connington. I mean, it's not spelled right either way, but Mitchell and Covington or Sexton and OG. Give me Mitchell and Covington. Yo, is Russ blowout proof tonight? He might not get the minutes. He's not blowout proof. No. But Russ is a guy who will stay on the court a lot more. But if the game's a 30-point difference, he'll lose his 5 minutes a player somewhere around there. For show. How's the comedy show? How's the comedy show? It's fantastic. Top 5 plays on SuperDraft today. Yeah, just based on pure projections, not necessarily my top 5 interests. Curry, Embiid, Anunoby, Westbrook, and Donovan Mitchell are my top 5 projected plays. Malachi Flynn would be number 6 over there. Do you like OG Anunoby tonight? Yes, I do. UFC main event is about to start. Yeah, somebody send me the link. Somebody DM me. Ain't nobody got me on Twitter? Somebody DM me the link, the stream. I mean, I'm assuming it's obviously just on Holland throwing with some sauce, takedown defense, somewhat holding out. I'm just gonna be following Manpreet's. I know it's on ABC, but I don't got the stream up right now. Why is Curry constantly 1.3x? It's such a good play on SuperDraft. Yeah, I agree. It'll be highly owned. Is Flynn a good play? Not gonna get too much Flynn on DraftKings, but I'll get the under being a good play, the under on Prize Picks, and he's a really good play on SuperDraft. So Flynn is very site dependent. Don't want anything to do on DraftKings. Like him a lot on SuperDraft. Like to fade him a lot on Prize Picks. You saying Gafford's a good pivot with a high ceiling? No, I don't know if the minutes will be there for him. If Clarkson is out, Ingles a good pivot off of Trent. Yeah, I'm expecting Clarkson to be out, and yeah, I do think that Ingles is a pretty solid pivot off of Trent. I think that Trent looks good, but if the ownership is going to be there, he's a guy that easily pivot up for. Priority spend up is Russell Westbrook today, which is the obvious answer. Love Roto World injury report on Siakam, Pascal out, rest / tanking. Is that what it says? Wow, that's funny. Do you like Kings players tonight? No, I actually don't. Kings players are always hard to judge, and tonight they're just all appropriately priced. So I don't think I have a single Kings player, but let's see. I probably have somebody from there. Nope, I have no interest in the Kings tonight. Obviously, you can get to Fox if you really want a low own play, but here's my minutes on the Kings and my interest on the Kings. Not good. Who's a good value? Point guard, DeAndre Bembry and Dennis Smith Jr. If Dennis Smith starts again, and Corey Joseph will look like nice values. I mean, Bembry's going to be the clear-cut best option tonight. It's just really tough to get away from it at the point guard position for value. Any interest in Corey Joseph? Some, yeah. Who do you like in the Brooklyn versus Lakers game today? Yeah, so Brooklyn's not going to be giving me much interest. Really no interest at all from Brooklyn. The Lakers, my favorite play is going to be Drummond. Markieff Morris I have interest in. I'll have even more if Kuzma's out. I'm glad you said Embiid. He stayed late putting up shots after last night's loss. Love him very much. Yeah, so if Embiid does indeed play, I mean, there's just speculation that he might rest. The speculation is literally coming from fantasy labs like Justin Fan or somebody. Like it's not coming from any beat writers. So he's obviously a guy who's been injured, and now he's on. Now he is on speculation alert that he might miss some games, but I don't think it's an issue. Yeah, if somebody's got a stream, throw it into the chat. Trying to hop up in there. Watch this main event. Apparently, let me know if there's like a finish or something. Oubre and Cam Johnson or Josh Jackson and Prince? Single entry. Josh Jackson and Prince. You play on Yahoo? No. McCall Bridges, Sadiq Bey, or Bogdan today? Give me McCall Bridges. Give me Mr. McCall Bridges. THT night? No. Brother Sal, hope all is well. Just came back from Costa Rica. Hey, we like to hear that. Ready to dig into the slate. Nice, my man. Nice, my man. Do you like Corey Joseph tonight? Yes, but I've lost a lot of interest since this morning because of the news in Toronto. So I guess if people are watching the fight right now, I guess Kevin Holland is looking better than expected based on Manpreet's live stuff that he's tweeting. Dennis Smith Jr. tonight, seeing good ownership. I hate him. Yeah, I don't have much. I could easily fade Dennis Smith Jr. We talked at the top of the show. Dennis Smith Jr. with a lot of ownership can easily be a fade for me. Yep. They have a lot of guys out there. Somebody says, I don't question Sal. What does that mean? Is it too risky to fade Boucher in a single entry? No. There's a lot of other centers tonight. And a Scanter, Andre Drummond potentially. I mean, he's going to look really good, Boucher, but he could easily put up foul trouble. Boucher is going to be the first guy off the court in any type of blowout. So, yeah, you can easily get away from him. We got my man. We got my man throwing in. My man coming through clutch right now. My man coming through clutch, hitting me up in the DMs with the stream. I'm going to try and pull it up on my phone. I don't know if it'll work properly on my phone, but let's see. We'll pull up the fight on my phone because if I pull it up on... If I try and pull it up on... I think it's working. Yeah, it's working. Oh, you the man. You the man who just sent me the stream link. I don't know if the fight's already over, if they're just in between rounds because it's a commercial, but we shall see as we go on. Let me prop my phone up right here. And there we go. We got the fight. We love to see it. Thank you. Vittori just got hit in the nuts. Uh-oh. Bro, Wall is in. Alrighty. So John Wall is in. Is that the news that we just got? So Kevin Porter, not as interesting of a play now. Assuming that John Wall is indeed in. I don't know why people are saying John Wall is in. There's been no official news that John Wall is in. He missed the last game because of rest. You could assume that John Wall is in, but there's been no official news that I have seen that John Wall is in. Tobias Harris not questionable. Chris Phillips says, bro, Wall is in. I don't think that Wall is in. I mean, you can expect Wall to be in today, but I don't think we have any news that John Wall is in today. I'm currently projecting John Wall out. Maybe I'll add him back in. But, yeah, we have no updates. All right, so we're in right now. Vittori versus Holland. Holland taking this fight on short notice is pretty fun. So we can live talk through this one. Are you saying Porter number one on the slate for DK DFS 2 if Wall's out? No, not on DK. Damn. These guys both look real tired. These guys are both beat down right now. Kevin Holland in a zone. Oh. Uh-oh. Takedown's coming in. That's not where you want to be. Wall has no tag today. Yeah, I'll probably end up. If we don't get any news at all, obviously we'll have a starting lineup. If we don't get any news at all on Wall in the next hour, I'll project him in. Wall missed because of rest on Friday. We're just waiting for news today. It was just rest. It wasn't like he's out because of his knee. So my guess would be at this point in the day with no updates that Wall is probably playing. But we'll see over the next hour or so. Vittori's going to win this round pretty easily just based on the takedowns. Like, this is exactly what happened in the Brunson's fight. Han has nothing to work with off his back right here, especially with no time to prepare. Mitchell or Flynn on SuperDraft? Give me Flynn. Over on Sexton, big time. Not for me. SV, what's going on, Adam G? How you doing, boss man? How you doing, boss man? McCall Bridges or Sadiq Bey? McCall Bridges. Hey. How do you feel about Mitchell's over on Prize Picks? I like it. I actually already have it. The over 40. I got it at over 45. Yeah. Hideki is second place today. Best of luck. Who are the best players to invest in on the Nets and Lakers side? I think Drummond would be the best overall, but we have to see what happens with Kuzma. I'll pull up the Lakers minutes right now on the screen. Why no Bemry on SuperDraft? Yeah, he was suspended. I guess they just don't have him in the player pool. I checked their player pool like a half hour ago. He still wasn't in there. Tobias and Green are questionable. Correct. Embiid is in. We love to see it. I haven't seen any news on Wall today. Neither have I. Yeah, I'll project Wall in by after the stream. Kelly Oubre is listed out today as of a minute ago. So here we go. The wild weekend news. Look, if I was an NBA player, I'd be taking the weekends off too. Fuck it. Right? What you trying to play for? Kelly Oubre out. Yep. And beat off the injury report. You love to see it. Wall is in on FanDuel, Sal. Yeah, FanDuel, none of the injury reporting is going to have Wall out right now. I'll add him to the projections in like an hour or so. Would you touch Christian Wood if Wall is in? No, I'm not really interested. Gobert or Simmons, thanks again, Sal. Keep the good work. Thank you. I will be taking Gobert there. But the actual answer is I'm not playing either of those guys in like my single entry lineup because Gobert really takes away from a strong center position today, which Gobert's a decent option, but nothing elite. So Kelly Oubre now out. Gonna have to update some things. I'll also update for Houston, and I'll update after the stream in like 15 minutes to an hour or a half hour, projecting John Wall in, which will make probably Kevin Porter not as appealing of a play. Decent night last night, second place, and taking home $2,500 in that contest alone. Huge night overall in general, says Jay Brown. You guys need to put in the Discord and subscribe to Sal's Patreon. My man Jay Brown winning $2,500 last night. Shout out to you, my man. Let's go, Jay. Yeah, if you want to sign up for Patreon, you can check it out. Lots of tools, lots of analysis, actually helpful tools, not just people like saying, here's my core 4 of the day. Like, I can't think of anything worse than that. Like, for your money, like, why are you putting money into that? But if you actually want lineup optimizers, projections, top ranked plays, rating, using all algorithms and all projected data and databases that I have, that's just part of the lovely benefits of Patreon. Link down below. Drummond or Boucher today, Boucher. Is Simmons over Wall crazy if Harris is out? Single entry. I'll take Simmons over Wall either way. Vittori dominated that second round. Yeah, he's dominating. This is the second round right now. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what happened in the Brunson fight. Brunson takes Holland down. Holland has absolutely... I mean, you can't blame Holland for this. He's taking the fight on short notice, making a little bit extra cash. Is Durant too expensive for his minutes limit? I believe so. Thanks again for the weekend content, Sal. Got to head out. Good luck and make that money. Redman, peace out, my man. Have a lovely, lovely day. Sorry, I meant Westbrook. So I don't know what you're asking there. Is Simmons over Westbrook crazy if Harris is out? Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're really comparing the proper players there. I mean, Simmons with Embiid in is not a guy who's you're going to just think compares to Westbrook's projection. Italian man is killing it. We love it. Yeah, Vittori. Marvin Vittori is a scary man. He's been building himself up literally over the past year and a half since the pandemic has started. Do you like Wood tonight? I would have loved to see the Till fight, but what are you going to do? Do you like Christian Wood tonight? Not really. Not really. Christian Wood hasn't been producing anywhere near the beginning of the year. I do think Christian Wood is playing hurt. I mean, Marvin Vettori is just dominating. Holland's going to have to get a knockout in round 3. Otherwise, this thing's over. Holland's probably already gassed after this round. What plays would you prioritize in a single entry small field GPP tonight? Probably Chris Boucher. The rest of it is just kind of waiting and seeing. Probably Chris Boucher. Other than that, like Bembry's fine, but there's pivots off of Bembry. Chris Boucher's upside. I'd probably prioritize Chris Boucher as of right now. There's no other priority options. Like Cantor looks good, but there's other centers as well. Damn, Kevin Holland got fucked up. His eye is swollen. So probably just Chris Boucher as it stands right now. Chris Boucher and Westbrook, I guess I would say. Westbrook is what I prioritize. Are you eating chalk tonight? You eat chalk every single night in NBA. There's never a night where you're not going to play one of the highest owned guys. If you're doing that, you're never winning. You just need to get different in 1 or 2 spots, unless you're playing in the big 18, 20,000 person contest and you're throwing your money away every single night trying to win $100,000. I mean, that just seems pretty weird and bad to do. But like a lot of sites will encourage you to play in there because, you know, you win 47% of your lineups, you only lose $4, but it says you won $300 and something, and you think, oh, I had a chance, right? 150 lineups. Keeps you motivated in playing. End of the day, not great. Green with Oubre out or Tobias Harris? Tobias Harris is questionable, so track that. I'll take Green, though. I'm going to update this Golden State minutes right now. I'll also update the minutes for Houston and projecting in John Wall. But let's update for Kelly Oubre, somebody that we actually liked who is now out. I'm going to update this on my end. Kelly Oubre is my favorite Golden State Warrior play, so now this is actually going to open up a decent amount of value in Golden State. So I'll open that. I'll start to project that out now. Slight adjustments for James Wiseman, nothing crazy there. Steph goes to 52.3, looks even better for me. You can play Kevon Looney if you want. I probably won't. I have him for 18.2. Yes, Draymond Green, we have to see what happens with him. He's up to 36 points for me. Looks decent. Andrew Wiggins is up to 30. Well, actually goes down to 33.6. Not great. Guys like Damian Lee start to become into an option below 20 points. Damian Lee's now another pivot option off of like your chalky DeAndre Bembry's or more so. I'd probably pivot off of him to like a Dennis Smith. Kent Bazemore now looks really good. Kent Bazemore probably going to become a yes for me. Probably the biggest benefit of now being no Kelly Oubre out there. Alrighty. So I think that is good. And Nico Mannion, not going to get much. All right. So the updates now coming in for Golden State. Updates for Houston will come in after. And then we'll rerun the optimizer now for this news on no Kelly Oubre, which is actually pretty decent news because Kelly Oubre was like one of 15 yeses for me today. So let's update that. If you're a Patreon, it is now updated. Once I click this send button. Round 3 is started, and Kevin Holland is just getting murked. What are you going to do? So Marvin Vettori, unless he gets caught with something, is about to win this one pretty fucking easily. Let's see Golden State Warriors. Yeah, Golden State Warriors, I'll update their minutes on this screen right now in terms of what's happening with these fellas. So Kelly Oubre is now out. My interest in them don't really change. Like, nobody really goes to a yes. Nobody gets an insane uptick, like in anything crazy. Like, Kent Bazemore actually probably gets the biggest benefit, I would say. So Jordan Poole for me goes up 2 minutes. James Wiseman for me, I give him a minute more. Kent Bazemore is the big winner. He goes to 24 points. He becomes a yes now as another 3K pivot option. Nico Mannion goes to 4 minutes. Damian Lee goes to 24 minutes. He gets into a player pool as a potential pivot option. Hideki having himself a nice little match right now. You can play Kevon Looney if you want to. I probably will not. That's where we're at. That's Golden State's minutes. I don't know if you can see them all. Baisley, Dean Wade, Stewart, or Hartenstein? Stewart if there's no Plumlee. Otherwise, Hartenstein for me. Is Jordan Poole a top punt plan with Oubre out? Never that. Struggling to choose between the value power forwards. Yeah, and there's value point guards as well. Wiggins, nice at 6,900. Nothing really changes in my interest for Wiggins. What site do you use for injury news? I just use Fantasy Lab's Twitter page. They just kind of streamline all the injury news for us. Vettori is just dominating Kevin Holland. Jesus, Holland got up. Lopez or Len, that curly-headed F is efficient. Neither of them. Daniel Gafford is back now. I don't want either of those guys. Does Oubre being out open up any value? Yeah, Damian Lee and Kent Bazemore. Thoughts on Colin Sexton? Good play. Are you related to Zach Clayton? I don't know who that is. Bay or Bogdan? Give me Bogdan. How much of a bump does Draymond see with no Oubre? Like a half a point. Thanks, Sal, for bringing all the heat each week. No problem, man. Green with Oubre out or Tobias Harris today? Give me Green. This probably makes Draymond Green look really good. Not much of a change. Green changed like a half a point. He's from like 35 points and changed to 36 flat for me now. Thanks for keeping up with all the insanity on the nightly basis. I'm sure it gets exhausting. Yeah, for sure. I mean, last night I didn't update anything from 7 to about 8:30, but fortunately for us, we didn't miss anything. We got out right when some of the news broke on some guys. But yeah, for sure, my man. Yeah, that's another benefit that I rarely actually talk about. Like whenever I talk about Patreon, I'm updating the projections live. So all this news that broke, like I'm going to update the rest of it after lock. I'll update projections that come out. Any news that happens at like 7:15 after lock, I'll update for that. So that's something that you're probably not getting in 99.9% of places that produce content. You're not getting people to update their projections, or at least not update it after lock, which only 3 times ever in 3 years of doing this have I not updated the projections for a certain amount of time, not even the whole night. Like last night, I didn't update them for literally an hour, and it didn't matter because no news ended up breaking, or at least no news once the game's locked. Why? Because I was at a comedy club watching some comedy. I won accumulated bet and won $273 from a $20 buy-in. Nice. We'd love to hear it. Is Wall a good pick for tonight? Not for me. Thanks for your weekend content, Sal. Can you put the Raptors minutes up on the screen? I'm just getting here and would like to rank the Raptors. Thanks, man. Yeah, Toronto's minutes are on the screen right now for me. It's Bembry, it's Boucher. If my overall interest would be Boucher, Bembry, OG, and Trent from the Raptors. That's my overall interest. Kevin Holland is just a sleeping bag right now. Who do you like at power forward tonight? Yeah, I mean, what is the salary range that you're looking for? Because we got decent plays all over the place at power forward, but what is the salary range that you're looking for? That's going to be the thing that depends the most, right? So it depends on what your salary range is that you're looking for. Like OG Anunoby, power forward, probably your best option. But are you looking for a punt play? Well, then you start to get some options like Sadiq Bey to come into play. You start to get some other options to come into play, right? These guys you start to get from Cleveland and all of them, right? Taurean Prince, Dean Wade, Kevin Love, Sadiq Bey, I believe, is also power forward, although he plays a lot of small forward. So you can punt with Royce O'Neal. So it really depends on the price range you're looking for, because we got power forward plays in every range. There's no power forwards. There's no Giannis on the slate, but we got power forward plays in the 3K range, the 4K range, the 5K range, the 6K range. Hell, the 7K range now with Draymond Green looking a little bit better, right? Olenek or Love? Give me Love. How'd the show end up going? Oh, it was fantastic. It was incredible. 2 openers. One was Andrew Schultz's guy who's on a podcast with him, Mark. And then Andrew Schultz was just an hour of rioting. Just fantastic. Probably about 10-15% crowd work intertwined with his stand-up. Absolutely amazing. Fantastic. So funny. Simmons or Sexton, purely based on points. If Tobias Harris is out, Simmons. Otherwise, give me Sexton. Damn, Holland ended the third good. Somewhat. I mean, like, somewhat good, right? Like, he ended up landing. He could have clipped him there. Like, Holland came out just swinging. He could have clipped him. Like, Holland, the way that Holland was just throwing punches, if Vittori would have just gotten like 10 or 15 more seconds, he probably fucks Holland up. Like, Holland was just throwing wide punches. But that's what you need. Like, you just need to clip him on one of those. They're both gassed right now. They're both gassed at this point. Holland just has to avoid takedowns, and this can be interesting. Somebody says he needs a KO. Yeah, for sure. Who do you like with Oubre out now? It makes Draymond look a little bit better. It makes Damian Lee and Kent Bazemore open up as some decent values. I'll pull up Golden State's minutes yet again now that Oubre is out for me. And you can see what I'm doing there. I'm just going to take Allen Smiley out of this so you can start to see all the guys on the screen. The only other guy that you're not seeing, I'll take Nico Mannion out of this, just 4 minutes. This is Golden State's minutes for the most part. How many Raptors should we stack today? 4 to 5. I'm probably going to play 2 Raptors. I think the upside of 3 makes some sense as well. It's a 7-game slate. This isn't a 3 or 4 game slate. Why a no on Flynn? I like Flynn on SuperDraft. I like the under on him on Prize Picks. But on DraftKings today, Flynn is not it for me. DeAndre Bembry is back. So you can play Flynn if you want to. Like, that's fine. But the price point for where Flynn now currently stands for Toronto is a little bit too high for me to stomach, right? Like, Malachi Flynn's $5,300. The difference between him and DeAndre Bembry is that DeAndre Bembry is $3,600, right? There's a $1,700 difference there. Flynn at $5,300, even if he scores you 25, 26, 27, 28 fantasy points, it's not really doing much for you. Like, he has to get you 27 fantasy points now. Otherwise, he's ruining your lineups. 30 doesn't really win you a GPP at this point, right? Sexton and Smith or Simmons and Josh Jackson? Simmons and Josh Jackson. Christian Wood or Draymond? Give me Draymond there. Drummond a good pick for sure. Beal's 3-point shot. Beal is out today. Thoughts on Raul Neto? Nah. Drummond or Boucher? Boucher. Sexton and Smith or Simmons? Yeah, we just answered that one. There you go. Boucher, Cantor, Stewart, Drummond, Dylan. I don't know what you're asking me there. How you been doing on Top Shots, Al? Yeah, I put $0 in. I got some free packs. I ran it up to $2,500, and I took all $2,500 out. look, I'm not going to sit here and be like every single stereotypical person on Twitter, and some of them are definitely genuine, and be like, I'm bullish long-term on Top Shot. No, I got a free pack. I turned that free pack into $200. I bought more packs. I turned that into $2,500, and I just sold everything and took it all out. I have investments into NFTs. I don't really care too much about Top Shots. Once the NFL and the UFC one starts to come out, yeah, I'll buy those, and I'll probably fucking sell those too. I'm just not interested in, I never was interested in card collecting. I have a CryptoPunk. I am debating on buying another CryptoPunk. I have money into other NFTs. Not every fucking one out there like everybody else does. Yeah, I mean, this cycle happens look back at time. This cycle happens all the way back into the 40s when people were selling bags of sand and like trying to sell it as crystals or something really valuable. Happens every 5 to 10 years. Something comes along that's going to be changing everything, right? And it actually does. The internet, NFTs, crypto, all this stuff. And what do you get? You get 3 to 5 things that actually matter from it, right? You get the .com era, and Amazon and eBay come out of it. Obviously, a couple other companies, but they're the ones that actually come out of that specific era. You get crypto, and it's literally just fucking Bitcoin comes out of it. Then Ethereum comes out years later. So I'm not. Top Shot's fun. It's cool. It was a nice little ride there. It's going to get bullish, and then it's going to get bearish, and then it'll be bullish again. You can personally be bullish on it long term all you want. That's your opinion. I just don't give a fuck. I'll take the $2,500 quickly out of it, and it's free money for me. So not bad. UFC Top Shot, I'll be long term on. Yeah, I won't be long term on that either, but I'll buy some things, and if they shoot up in value, I'll sell them. It's as simple as that. I believe in the technology. I think the technology will be a really nice utility for me as a creator. But in terms of like buying these, like I think CryptoPunks make sense. First ever on Ethereum, right? First ever NFT on the Ethereum platform. So yeah, that makes sense for people in 20 years, not in 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years, but in 20 years, if I have that thing, if it's worth zero, I really don't give a shit. If it's worth like the money that I put into it, I could afford to lose it all. But if it's worth a lot of money, then we're good. Opinion on Dean Wade looks okay. He'd prefer from his team Isaiah Hartenstein and Kevin Love. Sal, now that we're all updated with your news and projections, what's your lean on Prize Picks? Ingles, under on Flynn. Yeah, those two. I mean, yeah. We touched on some other ones earlier on Prize Picks. Again, they're the sponsor of the show. Be sure to get in there. Be sure to get up in there. Flynn on the under, OG on the under, although I can see OG going either way because OG might be one to stay away from. I already took the under on it. Might be one to stay away from because OG's a really good blocks and steals guy, which if he picks up 5 blocks and steals tonight, I mean, that's an extra 5 points on Prize Picks, right? So I like the over on Ingles as it stands right now. No action on any of these guys that I'm scrolling through. Drummond, I actually have the lean the under on, but another guy who can pick up some blocks, so that's a scary wager. Yeah, I would say that the Flynn under, the OG under. Mitchell over 45. Kelly Olynyk over 27 is a nice one. Cantor over 31 is probably one of my favorites now. Ingles over 23. I have him at 27.5. So Clarkson's doubtful. This is assuming Clarkson's out. Ingles looks really good. Picks up his assist percentage and his minutes and his usage. All of that type of stuff shoots up. And Kelly over 27. So these are ones that I already have placed. Josh Jackson, I haven't placed this one yet. Over 24, I have him at 26.2. It's an interesting one. That team just in general, Detroit is so hard to pin down. Cantor is now one of my probably top 2 or 3 favorite options, though. Over 31 looks really nice. Did you see somebody want to parlay last night? 50 on Curry and Levine, both over 40 real life points at 44,000. Not me, though. I wish. Yeah, I mean, people win that every single night, and I'm sure whichever sports book had it promoted the shit out of it. And every single sports betting company promoted the shit out of it because it makes people think that they can actually hit that. Obviously, one person did, just like hitting the lottery. That shit ain't happening often, my man. Diallo, Ingles, Josh Jackson, or Okoro? I mean, the answer is never Okoro. You're never going to play a guy who averages 0.5 fantasy points a minute. Never that. My answer, the highest ceiling out of those guys right there, based on the minutes that we assume that they get, is probably going to be Josh Jackson because I think Diallo comes off the bench again. It's between Ingles and Josh Jackson. If you can stomach some risk, Josh Jackson. I mean, Marvin Vettori just fucking stunned the shit out of Kevin Holland in that round. Is Ingles a good pivot off a Trent if Clarkson misses? Yes. Cantor on FanDuel is only 5K. What a steal. Yeah, what a steal for sure. What changes that with Oubre out now? Damian Lee looks like a decent punt, but nothing great. Kent Bazemore, same thing. The main guys don't change too much. Like, slight bump ups for Steph and Draymond. That's basically it. Top Shot is a new pet rock. I don't think that's the case. There's definitely more utility than a fucking pet rock. Made $1,500 off Top Shot. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, made $2,500 off Top Shot, and I'm good with it. Look, I don't care your opinion. Like, there's probably people out there right now that are like, oh, this guy sold his NFTs, all that. That's fine. Like, if you want to be bullish on a long term, you definitely can be. You definitely can be. And I was asking a question to a lot of people who are in the Top Shot space. It was a genuine question. When the NFL, when the UFC, when their NFT products drop, obviously now all these other players are doing their own individually. Like when those start to drop and now you have other sports NFTs, how valuable is Top Shot? Especially when people are frustrated that they can't withdraw from it and all that type of stuff. And the answer evidently that I kept getting was, oh, the system's already in place. They're already making, they have this much of a user base. They're getting all this. Yeah, I understand they have a big leg up on them, but it's still the fucking NFL, right? Compared to the NBA. And if Dapper Labs can control that NFL one, well, then it's the same company, sure. But you can't tell me that there's not going to be a crash in the Top Shot markets when the NFL product launches, when people are more interested in that. So, yeah. Just in general, though, I'm not bullish long-term on Top Shot. Am I bullish on NFTs long-term? Yeah. But I'm not out here like tweeting that I love NFTs every single day. You like Kevin Love somewhat. What is Top Shot? It's a non-fungible token. Some NBA player highlights that you can own and sell on the Ethereum blockchain. Wiggins or OG? OG. Is Draymond Green a yes? No, not for me. Booker or Mitchell for a guard tonight? Mitchell will be much higher owned. So if you don't care about ownership, Mitchell, he looks like the better play. I'll pull up Washington minutes with Beal now out. Actually, probably have to update these. These aren't the updated minutes. Pull up Utah's minutes. I think quick selling packs is the play. Yeah, I mean, they flooded the marketplace. Like, the second that they started to give out 40,000 packs a day, 3 days in a row, it's like, yeah, this shit's going to crash. Maybe not long-term over 40 years, but over the next year or two, this shit's about to crash for sure. They had to do that, though. Locking in Boucher and Drummond on DK? I'm not, but you can. I think they're both decent options. How do I get to the lineup optimizer on Patreon? Yeah, it's attached to every single post. So the NBA post, you click on the NBA post. I can show you right now. You click on the NBA post, and here's the lineup optimizer. Now let's run it for the new projections that we have in here. Let's increase some randomness on this. So any post, the NBA post right here from today on Patreon, bang, the lineup optimizer, you scroll down, and it'll say NBA access to the optimizer. So you click this link, and it'll give you all the access information that you, my good sir, need. So let's look at some of these final plays. And Marvin Vittori is about to finish in the next 2 minutes. Mr. Holland took him down again. Easy money. Easy money snipes. Easy money snipes. I mean, Holland looked good for short notice, right? So let's put in some randomness, and let's start to get some lineups to pop out here, and then we can go out on that. Thoughts on John Wall? Yeah, I'm going to project him in after the stream. Not really interested, though. If Tobias Harris and Danny Green are out, who does that benefit? Shake Milton benefits a good amount. It benefits Embiid and Simmons, obviously. But you have to see who starts in the starting lineup. But I assume usage-wise it's going to really help Shake Milton. Drummond or Olynyk? Drummond. A $4,400 forward today. Yeah, which position? Small forward, power forward, just forward? What position exactly are you looking for there? Because $4,400, you have Royce O'Neal at $3,900, right? Might be your best option in Royce O'Neal. Probably. I mean, $4,400 is a pretty specific price, but are small forwards also okay? Because then that opens up a couple of other options for you, like a Kent Bazemore. Obviously, like a DeAndre Bembry would be your best option. Is it small forward or power forward? Dennis Schroeder love and a player pool, no real love. Drummond or Olynyk? Drummond. So now we start to get some lineups to pop up. Norman Powell starts to become a pivot, it seems. Rudy Gobert becomes a pivot, it seems. Some of these other guys are going to pick up a lot of ownership. Gobert with Ingles and Mitchell is an interesting build, but I'll probably set a rule against it. What's the move for the parlay tonight? Are you talking about Prize Picks? Yeah, we talked about Prize Picks like five. We talked about Prize Picks a couple times during the stream if you want to check out getting back to that one. Best play under $3,500 on tonight's slate. Best play under $3,500 on tonight's slate. Let me pull up the projections because a lot of guys are at $3,600 flat. Like you have some pretty strong plays at $3,600 flat. $3,500 best play under there. Probably Dennis Smith Jr., although I'd be fading it in big GVPs. Other than that, Damian Lee looks good. That's about it, though. Like there's punts like Kevon Looney and things like that, but I'm not there. Joining late. Why is Bazemore in a lot of lineups? Because Kelly Oubre got ruled out. So that's 35 minutes that you now have to fill into the lineups, and I gave Bazemore about 6 of those minutes, so it looks good. I can't believe Holland ended up getting up off the ground again. Not bad for him. Vittori won, probably. Is Patreon mobile compatible yet? Yeah, Patreon's been mobile compatible. There hasn't been a day that Patreon has their own app. It's been mobile compatible. The optimizer is mobile compatible. The projections are mobile compatible. Yeah, Discord has its own mobile app. So Patreon has, You use the word yet. It has never not been mobile compatible. I mean, if you have a really old iPhone that doesn't support the Patreon app, that might be why. Do you like Kendrick Williams at all? No. Wall, Josh, Benry, Bay, anyone you want to switch? Yeah, I mean, I'm not. If you tell me your entire lineup, I'm probably just going to say looks good. Like, I don't know the contest you're playing in. I don't know your total lineup ownership for that contest. Yeah. So, no matter, like, even if your lineup is like the same dude 10 times, I'll just be like, yeah, it looks good. If it's Aaron Rodgers every time, I'll just be like, yeah. Like, reviewing people's lineups is not usually something that makes a lot of sense for me to be doing on here. Because the answer is just me going to be saying, yes, that looks good. Like, to be completely honest, pairing Bay, Bemry, and Joseph together, I think limits your ceiling. But I see what you're trying to do there in terms of getting to the other pay-up options. Hield or Powell? Powell. K. Porter, a solid pick. If John Wall's in, probably not. Garland on the over, not for me. I'm not touching that one specifically. Ingles and Stewart or Cantor and O'Neal? Give me Cantor and O'Neal. You bullish on Bitcoin, Sal? I mean, I don't know how you can like be bullish on Bitcoin at this point. Like, people who were bullish on Bitcoin 5 years ago can say that they were bullish on Bitcoin, but at this point, it's obviously here to stay. Like, there's a way for it to go to zero, right? There's a code to Bitcoin. If that code gets cyber hacked somehow, even though it's like insanely separated, but if it gets cyber hacked, the whole thing just goes to zero. Right? You get a virus in it. But I mean, Bitcoin's here. So, like, do I believe in Bitcoin? Yeah, it's going to be a utility. I passed a bar literally today in downtown Raleigh that you can pay with your Bitcoin in. So, yeah, I mean, once they can make it realistic for my dad and my cousins and people who don't know much about it, like the idea that you have to have your Bitcoin on a card, right? This is just a piece of paper, but you have to have your Bitcoin on a physical card and hide it somewhere and hope that you never lose that. Otherwise you lose all your Bitcoin is what makes people paranoid about it. It makes me paranoid about it, right? Like, leaving your Bitcoin in Coinbase technically means Coinbase owns your Bitcoin. You don't own your Bitcoin unless you have it on a physical wallet, like a hard wallet. And for you, people watching this right now, it's like, what the fuck does that mean? It means that you transfer it to a hard wallet's code. You plug it into your computer. You transfer it to a hard wallet. On the hard wallet, you write a password on it. And if you lose that fucking hard wallet, you lose it in a fire, you just lose it, that you lost all your Bitcoin. So, like, once they can solve that issue of that having to be a thing for you to get full control over it, and that can be something that, like, an FDIC insures you, well, then, yeah, then it can become more of a utility. But people aren't going to just be walking around with their fucking card all the time, like trying to use it as a utility, and then they lose it, and then they lose everything. Your top 10 yeses, yeah, we put them on the screen earlier. This doesn't take into account the Oubre news, but I don't think it matters. These are the top 10 plays in terms of just projection. This is not factoring in ownership. These are just strong options. Kevin Porter Jr., a good play in SuperDraft, even if Wall plays, meh. Ingles or Bembry? Bembry. This guy trying to have Sal give him a free lineup. No, I don't think so. I think he was just asking for a review, but I mean, it's not something that I can help too much with. Warriors, Blazers, and Hurricanes parlay. Best of luck, Caden. Yeah, I agree. I see that coming soon. How about we talk about the NBA? Yeah, Christian Velez. You can bounce if you want to. We'll talk about what we want to talk about. People in the chat want to ask me a question on Bitcoin. I'm going to talk about it. Because if I just stick to NBA, I'll blow my brains out. Because that shit is crazy. And I'm not a robot who sits here talking about NBA all the time. This is the Sal Vetri Media channel, not the Let's Only Talk NBA channel. As nicely as I can say that to you on National Farm Animals Day. Don't want to hurt your feelings on this beautiful day. National Siblings Day. He said, how about we talk the NBA? Boy, we've been live for an hour. We talked it for about 55 minutes. If we want to talk for a minute about Bitcoin, we're going to do whatever the fuck we want on this channel. But you ain't pulling the plug. You ain't pulling these strings on this mouth right here. Sal, what's up, buddy? Love your content. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Sal, how you motherfucking doing? Are we doing good? Are we feeling good? Thoughts on Chris Paul tonight? Same as every single night. The current price point that Chris Paul and Booker are at? Sure. You want to get there as a low-owned option? They'll be low-owned every single night, it seems? Sure. Are they priorities? No, because they cut into each other so much. Coinbase going public on the stock market this week. You buying right away? No, I don't buy individual stocks. I have no interest in buying individual stocks. But pretty impressive, the size of that Coinbase company as a private company, what they're about to do going public. How about your followers that just joined Ding a Long Breath? Yeah, you can bounce back for 58 minutes of the stream. Or, I mean, if you don't want to be a follower, you don't got to, my man. Durant tonight, not for me. What do you think about Lee? Is he starting good punt? I think Lee's a good punt. Yeah, I think Lee's a decent punt. He looks like a lot of other options, but he's a decent punt. John donates a $5 super chat. He says, I'm not a robot. You said it again, left my ass off. Bounces, bro, ski, love it, Sal. Thanks. I didn't say you're a robot, John. I didn't even see you comment in here until that one. I appreciate the super chat, my man. What Raptors would you play in cash tonight? In cash tonight, I would play Ben Murray and Chris Boucher. Thought I heard something about something not working on the phone and had to use a desktop. My bad, going to be signing up. Yeah, so like if you have projections and you're trying to use them on mobile, any type of website is going to be better on the desktop version, right? But then there's a mobile compatibility portion of it. But anytime you're trying to sort through tables or Excel files, it's going to be 100 times better, maybe not 100 times, but way better on a desktop than because it's a desktop built application than a phone. The optimizer works fine, all that type of stuff. But if you're downloading the projections, I would recommend downloading the free Google Sheets app. You can still work through the projections, but if you're trying to actually filter on mobile, the Google Sheets app will be really good for that. Talk to him, Sal. Yeah, for sure. I won $500 on a scratch off today. Hope my luck carries over to DFS. Best of luck, man. Thoughts on Gafford tonight? I think he's going to be limited. That's the issue. Russ and Curry or Russ and Mitchell? Russ and Curry, if you can afford it. Draymond hitting 6S on DK? I don't have him projected for that. No. Drummond or Olenek? Drummond. All right, everybody, I'm going to bounce. We've been live for a little over an hour. Be sure to support the sponsor of the program. All the updates to Patreon will be coming. Most of them are already out, but the updates for the Houston Minutes will be out and any other news. Slate locks in an hour and a half tonight, so we got a little bit more time. So you can sign up for Patreon there. If you want to check out the sponsor of the program, Prize Picks, we talked a little bit about Prize Picks earlier, but yeah, you can go back in and check that out. Tell your barber to stop pushing your shape up back. What do you mean my shape up back? My shape up is, okay, here we go. Christian Velez. I know you trolling in the chat. If you can find a haircut this good, you would probably pay triple what I paid for it. $40. Tip my man $10. Tip my man $30 haircut. Tip him $10. Yeah. That's what we doing out here. 33% or nothing. That's how you treat your barbers who know what they're doing. Christian Velasquez out there bald and salty. That ain't a good combo. When you bald and salty, the next thing that's coming is stinky, and boy, go take a shower. Whenever you call me a robot, you tell everyone that you're not a robot. It's hilarious. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, exactly. Ready? Pull the strings. Christian Velez. I keep saying Velasquez. It's not his name. Christian Velez. You're bald. You're salty. Next up's going to be stinky. Take a shower. Appreciate you, Sal. Stay up. Yeah, what's up? Seth, how you doing, boss man? Holland got dominated again. Yeah, you can't blame Holland. He took the fight on short notice. Probably a tougher fight than Brunson, right? On short notice. Like, he said he's a company man. Like, that's what he's doing. Do you sell sports bets picks for tonight? No, I don't sell sports bets picks. If you're buying picks from anybody, stop doing that. They're ripping you off. It's as simple as that. If you're buying picks from, if you're paying for somebody's service in terms of tools, right? Tools that will help you, right? Reduce your research time tools. Like actual algorithms and data and tools and optimizers. That's one thing. You're using your brain, right? You're using your brain to make your picks, but you're using tools to help you get there in a more efficient manner, right? And leveraging data, leveraging things along those lines that you don't have to make the projections that take me 2 to 3 hours a day to make and set all up, right? And you don't have to pay the $1,000 a month I have to pay to support an optimizer's logistics in the background, right? That's what you pay for. If you're paying for somebody to tell you who's going to win in the NBA tonight, you're getting scammed because they have no fucking idea. That's how hard the NBA is to win on. He's too thin for 185. Yeah, I think he's going to go back to 172. You look like Dracula with that little triangle on your shape up. Yeah, my man. What's the guy's name? The Italian's name? That's got the nice widow's peak. Man, this is a widow's peak, boy. We coming for you. We sharp as fuck out here with this thing. He said, you look like Dracula. I mean, I don't know if that's supposed to be a diss or what. Dracula, famous as shit, boy. Dracula got them motherfucking Dollarooskies in his nice teeth. Dollarooskies in the bag. I mean, bam. I feel like Dracula. Sitting on these deep pockets. Lowry officially out. Nice. Alrighty, gang. What we got? Caldwell Pope tonight? Not for me. Somebody says start banning these kids. Yeah, I mean, you gotta let the people try and be social somewhere. When you can't go out in public and be social because you salty and you bald and you starting to smell and you ain't trying to run up the water bill. Alrighty, cool. We gonna bounce. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Best of luck on the slate tonight. I'll update the news or just update Kevin Porter Jr. for John Wall being in and things along those lines. Appreciate you all the time. Have a great rest of your night. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your Sunday. Good vibes only out there in the real life streets. Hopefully Christian Velasquez doesn't get too heartfelt from this. It's all love. We all chilling out here. Right? There's no hate in my heart for anybody. We all chilling out here. Alrighty. Have a great rest of your day. Hopefully y'all have a lovely, lovely, lovely rest of your night. Peace out, gang. Enjoy the rest of your day. Win some Dollarooskies. See you in the Discord. Yeah.